to own it. Just wanted to take the time, learn all the things that I could about you. Now it's such a mess here. Oh, we are just stressed here. Used to be so easy with you.
Thanks for coming on Everything Sparkle Day. I'm so excited to have you here, Brilyn. So tell us what you do, where you work, and all the cool stuff you do.
Awesome. So I am an injector nurse at California Oculoplastic Facial Consultants at I Medical Center. I do a ton of stuff: derma fillers, neurotoxins, a lot of procedures with radio frequency, CO2 laser. I'm kind of a do-it-all type person.
Do you have to go to school for, like, what do you do to even become that? That sounds so, it sounds like there's so much science, you know, that's why I asked, because you have a lot of information.
So I kind of did a different route. So I went to school at New Mexico State University in Las Cruces, New Mexico. I got my bachelor's in chemistry and biology.
That's why you know all the science.
That's why I know all the
That's why you
science
seem kind of
backgrounds.
more smart than, no offense to anybody, but you seem really thorough about everything you know.
A little nerdy.
It works. It helps to know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Okay, so you did that, and then how'd you get into this?
So I was a scientist before I became a nurse. So I did a lot with flu vaccines. I did a lot of Ebola research whenever that little episode came out.
Wow.
A lot of documentations. So then I got really bored in being in a lab for 12 hours at a time.
With nobody else?
With nobody else, no one to talk to. And I decided I need to go back to school for nursing because I love the healthcare field. So I went back to school, became a nurse, and it feels like this field that I am in now, a ton of education. There's constant learning. It's always keeping everything on my toes as far as like new technique goes, new research. So it's similar to science, like being a scientist, but a lot goes. So I've been into aesthetic nursing for 4 years, and that's all I pretty much have done except for OR nursing. So straight out of nursing school, I became an OR nurse in surgery. So that's my other love, is I love surgery. And I recently shied away from it and became full-time at iMedical, since I figured out that I really love aesthetics more than the hospital.
Wow, that
Yeah.
is so fascinating. Like, it was like boom, boom, boom for you. You were always involved.
Yes. So it was just constant. I'm still in school. I feel like I'm one of those life learners that I just have to constantly be learning something.
So what are you in school for now?
So I'm in school now for a nurse practitioner. So I started last January and I finished in 2023. And
so what are you going to do with that?
So with that, I want to do aesthetic nursing. That's, my ultimate goal. Just with nurse practitioner, you get a little bit more leeway. You can diagnose. There's a lot of things to it that just an RN cannot do.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so you've been doing some cool stuff, like some little TikTok videos and telling people, what's your TikTok?
Simply Beautiful Aesthetics. So you can find me on there. And then also my Instagram, Simply Beautiful Aesthetics. Yeah, you can follow me.
What is something that you surprise people with? Because I could talk to you for 5 minutes and I'll learn like 5 million things I didn't know. What's like the biggest misconception when you're talking to people? They just don't know something and you're like, oh, this is how it is. This is what works and this is what you should do. Name something that you have come across.
Something that we talked about earlier was filler. So, derma filler is more of like volume. You're putting volume back into the face, and then there's a ton of benefits to filler as far as like collagen building, stuff like that. So a lot of people don't understand that you can put a ton of filler into your face, but you don't want to look unnatural, or just over time, like 5 years, you might have to dissolve it. So just being an injector nurse, we do have to have some hard conversations with patients, because a lot of patients, maybe I'm just going off into a.
Oh no, because I
Yeah,
feel like you feel like you're not, you
Yeah.
educate yourself a little bit. Like I've gotten, Beverly Hills surgeon, all this stuff. No one
Right.
had told me that until I had met you.
Yeah.
And so why are we not talking about this? Why doesn't everybody know this or tell the people when they come in, this is what needs to be done?
Right. And it should be talked about. So if you have too much filler that's old filler, it should be dissolved, every few years or so, just so you have a clean slate. Because filler ultrasound studies have shown that filler can actually stay in your body for years. And when I say years, it could be like 7 years, 10 years, and it could be micro droplets, but they're old filler, and our body is not dissolving it. So like the HA that we have dissolved has already been dissolved over that 6 to 10 months time, but some of it still stays.
So when we see people looking weird, sometimes we're just not taking out old filler. It's not that the surgeon's bad or anyone's bad. It's
Right. Yeah.
we're not taking care of it properly.
Yeah.
What are some of the benefits of it? Because you said there's benefits of it. It's not just to look good all the time. Tell us about the benefits.
The benefits of just dissolving the filler
Or even getting filler in the first
or
place.
getting filler. So it's collagen building. It replaces volume. So even after age, I think it's like 30 to 35, you lose like 30%, 30, 40% of your collagen.
Wow.
So it definitely like hit
Really?
home for me because I'm in my 30s and I'm just like, wow. So I definitely need to do something to, keep that collagen up. So that's a big one as far as like what fillers can do for you.
So do you offer any classes or tutorials? Where can just normal people go to get basic information and basic questions, answered?
Yeah, I mean, I would love to do that. I think as time goes on and I become that nurse practitioner, I would love to be like sort of an educator as far as like a trainer for injectors. I do have a lot of new injectors that follow me around for, 8 hours just to learn about new techniques, what I'm talking to my patients about. I just got a text today from a trainer that said, hey, I want to follow you for 2 hours because I just want to know what techniques are out there and what you're telling your patients. So,
Wow. And then how is it? Because you look young and
yeah.
it's when you go in for like these jobs and they're like, but then you have all of this knowledge. How has that experience been like?
Oh my gosh, they'll like look at my resume and they're like, how old are you?
And they look at you and they wonder if it's the same
Yeah.
person.
And then I tell them, oh, I have 2 kids, and they're like, no, that's so not possible. But I just feel like my life ever since, I started college in New Mexico, it's always been like just on speed. Like I've been doing constant something. And I mean, even like with my bachelor's, before I became a scientist, I worked a lot with pregnant women. So that sort of is where all this passion comes with making women feel better about themselves and just letting them know, like, just be, who you are, but let's enhance, your features sort of thing, not making you look unnatural because that's me looking unnatural and telling my patients to look unnatural is not my cup of tea. So I'm more of like on the conservative side and just enhancing what they have.
Right.
Yeah.
What mistakes do you see that like most of us are making? I mean, besides not knowing that we should take out filler every 5 years or every time, what are some other basic mistakes that we're doing?
Um, I think listening to the injector, I know there's a ton of stuff on Google and everyone will Google a ton of stuff before their appointment.
And then we think we know everything because Google told
Yeah.
us.
So it's just, I don't know, listen to your injector and pick their brain, see what areas that they can see. Because sometimes patients come in and they say they want cheek filler, but I'm looking at them and I'm like, you actually need like temple filler.
Oh, you're one of those people who tell us everything else that's wrong.
You're
But
like, your cheeks look fine. But so just picking their brain.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Oh my. Well, I'm glad that you like that. So it's okay to ask. I mean, I think, yeah, if someone doesn't want you to ask questions, there's gotta be a problem. But do you ever get like, do you think people are too timid because maybe they've asked questions in the past and weren't met with someone as nice as you that answers them?
Yeah, and I think that's sort of back in, I mean, this is all sort of new, especially with like the new generation. We see a lot of younger patients. They're usually not afraid to ask. It's usually like the middle age group that is afraid to ask. The older generation, I mean, they just don't know what's out there. So it's like, it's a lot. I think we should be promoting a lot of education for everything, constantly talking, even if it's their first time doing a neurotoxin or a Botox, then you should be talking about what's out there, what it does, what to do, what not to do after the procedure. Um, I have patients come in all the time and it's their first time doing, a wrinkle relaxer, and I'm trying to change the words because it's Botox. That's all we hear, right?
Yeah, I think that's what
Yeah.
people know.
So that's all people know, but it's actually a neuromodulator. So it's like there's I think there's more, like 4 or 5 different types of neuromodulators out there. But when we say Botox, everyone's like, oh, yeah, yeah, I know what you're talking about. But they don't know about Dysport. They don't know about Xeomin, or Jabot. So it's a lot of education. And I mean, ask those questions. If you're a patient and you're going into an office, don't be afraid to ask those questions and, you know, gain that knowledge in that visit because that's what's really
I'm
important.
gonna start saying that neuromodulating
Modulator.
myself. That sounds so much better because no one ever wants to say, "Oh, I got Botox." I'm
That
simply,
will impress Dr. Badar, I promise.
well, you know what's good about that is that you work in an innovative office where they are like always accepting of new ideas. So they are
Yeah.
trying to be like on the side of technology, like advancing with it. But do you notice some offices aren't doing that and they're kind of like, this is what's working? Because I notice a lot of times they're spending thousands of dollars on the machine that they were told to get this year, and then maybe they don't want
Right.
to spend that next year on something that's better. So how do we look out for that? And how do we know that, when we go to somewhere, they're not just trying to sell us on what they've already bought and that they are staying technologically ahead like you guys?
Right. And you can always ask if you're going to the office, well, how new is your machine? I mean, that's a good way to start too. I mean, are you up to date on techniques? It comes from, I think, the patient asking those questions. Because if you don't ask those questions, I don't think you really know. So, I mean, some patients will come in for IPL. Our machine is fairly new. I think it's like a little bit over a year old, but I know a ton of other machines at different offices are older, but a lot of patients are noticing it. So that's why they're coming to us for the newer machines.
What are some things that your offices has that other offices in town don't have that you know of?
Um, I mean, I think all of us kind of have about the same thing. Um, there's a few offices in town that have the Morpheus. We have the Morpheus.
What does a Morpheus do?
So Morpheus uses microneedling pretty much on steroids. So you know the vampire facial?
Okay.
Okay,
That's
so
where they put the blood back in your face.
yes, so similar. So Morpheus uses microneedling, and there's 24 to 40 needles that go into your skin, and then it uses radio frequency. Radio frequency is actually a radiation, but it's a low dose radiation. And so what it does,
Does that scare people, that word?
it probably does.
Okay.
But radio frequency has been around since I think the 2001. We've been using it for our skin. So what happens is it triggers a response to our cells when it goes down into those needles, and it tells our cells to contract. So radio frequency is amazing for tightening of the face. So those two combined, microneedling is good for like texture, tone, firming, and collagen building. And then whenever you combine that with the radio frequency, with the tightening, you get really good results.
So is that more of a natural way to go about things than doing that? So you tell people when they're like, I don't want to inject things that are, I don't want to inject foreign chemicals in my face. You kind of suggest, well, if you do this, you're actually just using your own.
Yes. Yeah. So, I mean, it's a procedure. There's always risk for procedures, but yeah, it's more of a natural approach. We're using the microchannels to trigger responses in our cells to react. So it's similar to like, I mean, you're creating a trauma to the skin and you're telling your cells to build on it. So once you create trauma to the skin, you're telling your cells to keep building, 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 and that's what creates the more collagen effect later. So our skin cell turnover rate is 30 days. So that procedure in particular, you see some results about a week later, but you don't see the full results until the full 30-day cycle of your cells, which is 30 days. And we sell it with 3 treatments, and so you get the best results after 3 treatments, which are 4 to 6 weeks apart.
So people shouldn't be scared by the word radiation.
No, it's been around forever.
And what about laser hair removal? What do you think about that?
We do laser hair removal in the office. I think it's a great procedure. It feels like a snapping of a rubber band. We do numb you.
Girl, that hurts.
It hurts. That's why we'll numb you. So we'll numb you, and we'll put like a gel on top, and then we kind of laser that hair away. It does take, so our face takes 4 weeks for our hair follicle to turn around. And then like our armpits, chest area takes 6 weeks, and anything below that is 8 weeks.
Wow.
So we do sessions depending on the area, like 4 to 8 weeks apart to turn
What's
around.
the most you've ever seen someone have to have of like sessions in one area?
I've seen some really hairy men. So, like their chest, that's pretty coarse area. And they probably need some might need like 12 treatments.
Wow.
Yeah. So it just depends. It totally depends on the area. It just depends on the person. Your face is pretty fine hair, especially if you're a woman, and that should only take a few treatments.
So what'd you bring me today? I had a reaction to some tape on my eye. So what's this for? And you can talk about your reaction if you want to.
Yeah. So this is just it's a lid scrub. So basically, it's a non-chemical pad. So it cleanses the skin. We use it for all of our oculoplastic patients or blepharoplasty patients. And then we also have a cream that has an antibiotic on it just to prevent any infection. I think
And then is this supposed to help it heal up?
Yeah.
On the area.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a really bad reaction with eyelashes, and I'm so sad because I can't ever get eyelash extensions.
But you don't know what
again.
it was, if it was the glue or what. You can't try, or you just don't. Why be the guinea pig on having that?
She said it was the bonder, the glue, and she did use the sensitive glue on me. So
Oh wow! So
yeah,
after that,
I'm
you're like
pretty reactive. So I have to use Latisse, which is the
that just
serum.
that makes them grow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fascinating. Okay, so this has started coming out. So this is supposed to. So like, what? How do we even know? Because this has never happened before. Where the tape is what actually did it for me. So what do you recommend when people like start coming at you with like, we have this and that? And how like accessible are people? Like if someone had wanted to call somebody at Dr. Badar's office and say this, like if I didn't know you were coming here today and have this happen, how could people like really?
You can always call the office, and then we do have a cosmetic iPhone where patients send us pictures all the time.
Awesome. Okay.
Yes.
I didn't know that. So
yeah,
we could do that.
if anything happens, especially with like surgery patients, they're like, is this okay, or is this too red, sort of thing. They can send, their picture to the cosmetic phone, which goes to the office, and either me or Badar can look at it.
Well, I understand that, but it was like this had nothing to do with you guys, and like I wouldn't just want to like blow your phones up with something silly, like if you know what I mean. So it's like, but you guys are kind of open if it's something like with one of your patients that.
Yeah, of course.
And then you guys offer a lot of deals and a lot of cool stuff. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so we just had an injectable day. Today's Tuesday, yesterday, actually.
Oh, really?
So
what was that all about?
I did a $10 unit for Xeomin, which is a neuromodulator.
So it's like a Botox.
It's like a Botox.
Okay, I love that one.
So what's cool about this neuromodulator is it doesn't have an accessory protein. So without the accessory protein, our bodies aren't immune to like the neuromodulator like Dysport or Botox. So over time, Dysport and Botox, you might need more units, or sometimes it's not as effective as you did it like the first time.
Right.
So I switch it up. I switch my patients up. So they're a Botox patient, right? I can do Xeomin once a year, because usually do Botox Dysport 3 times a year, right? Every 3 to
So
4 months.
yesterday was the Zoom and
Yeah, so Xeomin has no accessory protein, so it helps the patient not become immune to the neuromodulator.
so then why wouldn't they get that every time?
You can. I use it every time, so it's
That's like the best one. Well,
Yeah.
okay, and I know somebody, and this is like really interesting. So I know a guy that gets kind of like a steroid, but it's a legal like steroid where he's like getting testosterone shots, and he
Right.
says that when he gets the Botox, it's not lasting as much because
effective.
because of all the testosterone he's injecting. So how would this be the way to go?
Yeah, so we can definitely try on those patients, or if they work out a ton and their metabolism is like super fast, the Xeomin works better for those types of patients.
See, these are things
Yeah.
nobody ever tells me.
Yes.
We just need you every day to come and tell us something.
Yeah.
So, are you pretty accessible on Instagram? And I don't want you to get blown up with like questions. This is
Right.
like it's like I want people need the knowledge, but I do not want you getting blown up all day long about stuff. So, what do you suggest? Like, if people do have some like really serious questions and they really do want to get some stuff done?
Yeah, I mean, hit me up on Instagram. We can set up a consultation. And then you can also call the office. The office number is 559-449-5054. So you can always call them.
And you're pretty good about that. Like, if
Yeah.
someone needs to make an appointment, but they don't have anything set. So, what if someone wanted to make an appointment for a consultation? You're okay with that?
Yes, so I have specific days where I just do consultations.
Awesome. So, you
Yeah.
guys don't have to pay money and you get free advice.
Exactly.
That's great. Oh my gosh. I can't
Yeah.
wait to like really I gotta check out your TikToks or your tutorials, but I can't wait till you actually do like an actual
Yes.
if you have like a conference or you're just gonna go on all day, I will make all my friends go and listen to you all day talk about whatever.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Thank you so much for coming on my show.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for coming on my show today, Melanie. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me. I haven't been here. I haven't been to your new studio.
The
This is
new
beautiful.
studio. This is the third time you've been on.
Yes.
Every time there's more books. We've gone through a different book every time.
I know. I'm like multiplying. So this is called Progress, which I love. Like I think when and it's the same with your show. When I look at how you've been so dedicated to do something for this community and share so many amazing things, and here you are. And now you're in a different studio.
That's true. We've been growing together. I love that. And then what I love about you is you're not only writing your own books, you're helping other people that have these great stories. They don't know what to do. They've never written anything, but they have a great story and you're helping them bring that alive. How does that feel?
Absolutely. It kind of feels like being the doctor in the delivery room. I kind of like it because I can help give birth to all these beautiful babies, but I don't have to change diapers at 2 a.m. I feel like I'm getting like too old to be a mom anymore, even though I still have one at home. I feel like I can help give people this opportunity, because if I were going to write all these books, it would take me a lot longer than having other people write the book. So just helping them get their story out there, showing them how to monetize their book and how to really connect and help people. Mostly what we do is nonfiction books like self-help, personal development, professional development. Then we have our own book series, our Defining Moments series as well. So it's a lot of fun, and it's really very enjoying. Like makes me happy to see other people get their books out there.
We gotta tell the story about your dad, though.
Yeah,
This
my dad is
too awesome.
adorable. Okay, so my dad, he just turned 85.
How cute.
He has been a Sunday school teacher for 50 years. And he's also an attorney for over 50 years and a Little League baseball coach for over 50 years. So he could have written a lot of different books. But his passion is Sunday school because during COVID, he was so bummed when his in-person Sunday school had to shut down. And that was
that's
his
a lot.
social part time, you know? So he had to learn how to use Zoom and he had to learn how to make his Sunday school class go online. And it actually was kind of cool because my sisters and I lived in California, so we could, you know, jump in and see him actually teach a Sunday school class and be part of it.
Nice.
So he actually created these Bible study lessons that are fully researched, and he is a meticulous researcher. He spent 30 years studying the Shroud of Turin alone. So if somebody wants
Whoa.
to actually do a small group study, right? They feel intimidated, like researching the Bible and history
Oh
and
yeah, no,
all of
we
that can
always
take
need
years
this.
and years.
Right.
Now they can literally get one of these, they can plug in, they can do it individually, like one-on-one. They can do a Zoom class, they can do a small group study at their church or in their home. And we actually have a client who was so funny that her whole family wanted to do a Bible study, and they were kind of like so many different types of people mixed together in one family. They weren't very united. And like her stepmom was a Buddhist, and she and her grandmother did Bible study, and then her boyfriend
Oh,
wasn't a
wow.
believer. So they came together to do this study, and it just brought them all together and much closer as a family so that they kind of really got to understand the Word of God. And they had this luxury of having everything researched. So they didn't have to spend like 6 or 7 hours a week putting all the lessons together.
I think that's a big one. I mean, we get a little bit like we just kind of want something a little bit more solid that we can have done for us.
So this is 3 months of Bible study lessons, and he has 4 volumes. So there's a whole year of Bible study lessons that are completely researched with stories that are relevant to the news and discussion, key questions and points, Bible reference, everything. It's amazing. And he's now working on his 5th book, which is a Little League baseball book.
I love that. Oh
So
my gosh.
you're never too young or old to start working on your
That
book.
is true. And I knew that young too. That when you see writers groups and you see them all ages, and it's so wonderful, huh?
It is because, and people go, well, wow, look at all these books. But I mean, everybody here has an incredible story. And it's just really inspiring to look at how many people had the courage to finish writing about their book. And a lot of times we show people, okay, like here's this one, Nigel. He went through not 1 divorce, but 2 divorces. And he wrote a book about bouncing back from divorce with a strategy for dads. You know, how do you co-parent? How do you reconcile with your ex as a co-parent if you're getting a divorce?
I know so
And-
many people who could read this book.
Yeah, and protect your finances, your family, your relationship
that is
with your
so
kids.
important.
And he's a PhD, but he got reamed during his divorce. So he learned so many tools to
my
help other
gosh.
people bounce back like a lot faster.
That's a very important book that many people need to read.
This one, Sharon was she was one of our very first students a few years back, and she's now written 5 books with us in the last 2 years. And she's an international best-selling author. She lives in Israel. And I'm going to be going there next month with my church, so I'm super excited.
I'm so excited about that.
So she's come out to Fresno to visit us, and I'm going out there to see her and also do our little excursion.
And I got to meet her when
That's
she brought her to
right.
Fresno.
That's
Yeah, I was so
right.
excited about that. That's why
That's
I'm like,
right.
I
What a
want to
small
read
world.
that.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yes, you're right. You did get to meet her because we came by the place there in Clovis. And so this is she just finished her 5th book. Since we saw you last, she had finished her 5th book. And I just have to tell you, when people go, how do you monetize the book? She made over $75,000 off her book before she even wrote 1 word. And English is not her first language. So she found a way to collaborate with other people who also came in and started buying copies of the books to support it.
So how do people like you guys find each other?
So if you go to our website, it's mydefiningmoments.com. And there's a whole intake form of like, people can fill out, they can watch videos.
She found you from the website?
Actually, she found me because I work with Tony Robbins, who's one of my mentors for the last 20 years. And Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi partnered up with a company that does a lot of marketing and internet marketing. And so they actually hired me to be one of their trainers. So they were featuring my story the last couple of years and the growth that our business has had. And they do send me a lot of referrals. So Sharon and I met in their circle and they ended up referring her to me. And then that got their attention and they actually hired her as a trainer now.
I love that. Oh my goodness.
So she's one of our master trainers and one of our accomplished students in our course. And so a lot of times we have a lot of referrals. Jeff Wickersham is another referral. A lot of these books came from people that Tony and Dean referred to us. And then this one is this is a second book in our series, Defining Moments. There's a lot of local people in this book. And this is how I use the books. And this is what I encourage people to do. So I love giving books as a gift, always have.
I love getting books as a gift.
Well, and especially if it's a solution. If you know somebody that's struggling with
Right.
something. So the other day, a good friend of mine, her son was signing with a major college for football. He's on his way to the NFL, right? But he's stopping in at college, and he was excited to announce publicly where he's going to go to college. So we went to his signing party, and I brought one of these copies of the book. And I had everybody, there were 40, 50 people at this party that were just kind of like wishing him well with wisdom. And I always have a few extra pages in the back of our books so that other people went in and signed messages of well wishes and wisdom. And then I pulled him aside. I said, listen, you're going to be on your own at some point. And right now, I know your mom's driving you nuts. She's a smother. We all are. But you're going to be at some point sitting alone in college, missing your friends, missing your family, wishing that your mom was nagging you. And this book is going to be here to remind you of what you're capable of and how many people love and support you.
I love that.
And there's 40 different stories of survival, people who've overcome the most incredible, unbelievable challenges that it's amazing they're still alive, to be honest. So,
I love stories like that. I really do.
So anybody that needs to learn resilience, right? Like if, I know you're not a parent, but I know your mom. And I know if you ask any parent, would you rather give your kids resources or resourcefulness? You know, what would you rather leave them with? Most people think, oh, I would want to leave my kids money. But most people would choose as a parent to leave resourcefulness.
Exactly.
Because we want our kids to know how to take care of themselves, how to bounce back, how to overcome challenges. So all of these books are designed to help people overcome something in their life. And I think the beauty is there's other people who've already been down that path that can mentor them. Not only say, hey, read the book and see how you feel and give you some new tools, but you can reach out to these authors and actually engage with them and even work with them in a masterclass scenario or coaching or consulting, and they will help you get through whatever that challenge is so you don't ever have to do it alone.
And I love that you have the patience because, I mean, I imagine that you're getting a lot of people like, oh, I want to write a book, whatever. How do you know, okay, well, this person's serious? And that somebody like this, that you don't even speak the same language of, that you guys are going to connect and that you're going to hit it off and that she's very serious and that she's really going to, like, at what point when you guys come together, do you kind of figure out who's serious, who's not, and you get them to that level?
We have a whole process because 80% of people in this country want to write a book. 80%.
That makes sense.
Only 1% actually do, and we work with the 1%. And we show them, here's how you do it, here's how you make money. So we kind of take on the role of a book coach. So they become self-publishers. So we show them how to publish their book on their own.
Okay.
Because if you get a major publishing deal, which I've had, they take 90% of the royalties, and you still do all the work, and you still write the book, and you still market it, and then you don't make any money from it. So a lot of times people make the mistake of writing the book they want to write, not the book the reader wants to read. So having been in magazines and also having a magazine publishing business for 30 years.
If someone doesn't know your background, I want to do a little tiny recap.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've owned magazines and newspapers. I've been a publisher in media for over 30 years.
And Fresno Magazine. It was
Fresno Magazine. And now we have 5 magazines locally. And I have a corporate partner, so we actually have over 1,000 magazines all over the U.S., Canada, and Europe. So we actually do know how to connect people with print. Print is not going anywhere. In fact, print is outselling right now digital 3 to 1.
Thank God, because I like print.
It really is outselling 3 to 1. Now,
I enjoy
audiobooks,
getting a book for a gift. I don't want someone to get me an online, like,
well, and audiobooks are really big right now because there's a lot of people that are busy, or they're
Right.
if they can't read the smaller print anymore, a lot of people are sitting on Zoom all day with like a bright light, and so their vision is becoming more blurred.
Right.
And so they just want an audiobook, or while they're working out, they're listening to podcasts or
Exactly.
audio. So, and it's really kind of cool because it doesn't take 20, 30 years. People think it takes years to write a book. We've had actually people write their book in a couple of days. Some people have done it in a few weeks. It doesn't have to take years. It's just a process like anything else. We have a book launch tomorrow with 4 authors, including my dad's book here. And one of our authors, Kat Spencer, wrote her book in 4 hours. Now that she had the structure and she had the outline, it just flowed very easily. It was kind of like this download that came to her because it's usually been kind of ruminating in there, like this rodeo in our head. And we just find this way to go in and get this absolute clarity, extract the information that you need, and put it in the format that it needs so that people can understand it. Because most people just don't know the process.
That's
And
very
that's where
true.
they get stuck. So we make it easy, and people can jump in at any stage. And if they've already written a book, we can launch their book and market it to bestsellers, so they become #1 on the bestseller list. So like every one of these books has been #1 on the bestseller list.
Wow, that's so cool.
And then we show people, once you become an author, and especially a best-selling author, how do you partner up with media to leverage your authority and credibility?
Right.
So if you want to know, how did Dr. Oz become Dr. Oz? Well, he was a doctor and you partnered him up with Oprah. So you had a credible doctor and paired with a credible media source of a tribe of people that love what she did. And it just was this combination of making him a contributor to her show. And that led to his own show and spin-off series and books and
So
so many
you
other
guys do
things.
stuff like that.
So we help people become a global expert in their field using their authority and educating people about their industry through books and media.
I love that. And what's going on Saturday?
So this Saturday, we actually have a live event. It's virtual, so you can join from anywhere in the world. If you want to learn how to do this, then we're doing a special one-day workshop that's 10 ways to grow your business with a book. So if you're a coaching person, or if you're a consultant or an expert in your field, professional, doctor, accountant, attorney, I mean, anybody that actually has specialty knowledge in a field, or like Nigel, who overcame divorce and wanted to teach others. A lot of these people here you see, they're fitness instructors. Tanya and her husband, Hank, Tanya and Hank live in Canada. They have a dog mushing business, right?
That sounds so cool. Oh my
So you
gosh.
can actually go and hang out with the Huskies and do this incredible dog sled experience. During COVID, their whole business was threatened and shut down because the government wasn't allowing any travel into Canada, right? So they had to reinvent themselves, and they did this virtual dog sled experience. And then we said, why don't you start taking that into corporate America and teach corporate America how to do better sales presentations and how to work together as a team. So she actually used this book and sent it out to Coca-Cola, and was just hired a few weeks ago to speak at Coca-Cola. She also got a TV deal because of this book. So these are all the cool things that can happen when you actually get your book done and when you plug it into the right platforms to build a business or a new client base. So there's all kinds of people. We've done several hundred types of books and industries in the last few years. Pretty much anybody that has any type of industry experience that wants to teach other people how to do something, this is a platform to be able to do it, and you can monetize it, and it's very lucrative.
I think that's really impressive. And I think they're probably really surprised when you show that it can be lucrative, right?
Absolutely. I mean, we have people that make money off their books. We have a USA Today best-selling author that's part of our group, and she's going to be doing a training tomorrow night for a lot of our clients on marketing your book and running ads and things like that. But she generates $20,000-$30,000 a month from just her book sales. So if you have book sales, like one of my favorite quotes is J. Conrad Levinson. He wrote a book called Guerrilla Marketing. Came out about 25 years ago. Some of you might have heard about it or read it in school. A lot of entrepreneurs know about it. Someone asked him, how much money did you make off your last book? And he said $10 million. but he only made 35,000 in royalties from selling the book, right? That means if he sold 35,000 copies at $1 each, and that's what his royalty might have been, then he really made more money from coaching and consulting and all the wide open doors that came from his book being a bestseller. Things like speaker platforms, being asked to speak at events, private coaching, newsletters, all the things that came from that one book as an ancillary income stream. So there really is a lot of potential, especially if you're in the self-help world, and you want to help other people solve a problem. There are people that are willing to pay to learn how to know what you know. So it's
Wow.
brokering your knowledge and learning how to monetize something you might have learned in your lifetime.
I love that. That is so incredible. And so, what's the website that we can go to get in contact with you guys, get in touch, and know about all the events we could do virtually?
Oh, perfect. If you go to www.mydefiningmoments.com, on our homepage, there's something about our event this weekend.
Okay.
If people
And
want
we
to
could
come,
sign up and do that
they
through
can
there.
come. They can sign up and get a ticket to the event. In fact, we actually give you 2 tickets because if you buy one, you get one for free to give out to a friend if you want.
Oh, I love that.
Because a lot of people have writing partners or a business partner or a spouse or somebody that they want to share this with. And most of the time what happens is when our authors tell people they're writing a book, there's 10 other people that say, I want to write a book.
Right.
How do I do
exactly.
that? So that event is this weekend. Tomorrow, which is Wednesday, we are launching 4 new books as well. So you can kind of see behind the scenes and go live with us on that and ask questions. And then we do things like pretty much every week we have ongoing events and trainings to help people know how to get this done.
Oh, this is so awesome. And
And that we can help you write it, edit it, launch it, publish it, market it, everything in 8 weeks or less.
really,
So it doesn't take years.
you can have someone write these books in 8 weeks.
Mhm.
And then, so if somebody has written a book, they can come to you. If somebody's written it on the indie scene or whatever, they can come to you for the next steps if they've already
Right.
written it and self-published.
They may have already written it and published it, but then their book's just sitting there.
Exactly. That's what you
like
can get
it's
them to the
not
next level.
selling anything.
Because
So
I know a lot of people like that. That's why I
yeah,
asked.
so this course this weekend is also, it's really for book marketing as well. So it's not just, we believe in marketing your book while you're writing it, and it's a collaborative process.
Wow.
So we show people exactly how to do that. It's very specific steps. Then there is a science to it. And then understanding the bestseller rankings and how that can really leverage your career and build a whole movement or a mission or a business. People don't realize Mother Teresa built $100 million organization. She wrote over 30 books, but she served in an incredible humanitarian way. But she still had to find a way to monetize her mission in order to make a big difference and help a lot of people.
Wow, that is pretty impressive to think about. And if someone wrote a book about like complete fiction or something else, they could still come to you.
Sure.
You have a lot of self-help books, but someone can come to you with something completely.
Right. We have a lot of
different.
resources. I mean, we don't focus on fiction books. It's a whole other process, a very competitive market as well.
Okay.
But we do have
The
people that
resources.
we can refer them to if they want to do that kind of book. For the most part, nonfiction books are highly profitable because you can use it as a lead magnet to get more clients, or a client conversion model, or a speaker platform, or to get booked on podcasts and really just gain credibility and authority in your field. So as a professional, we have people that are CEOs and corporate executives that are, creating this as an income stream to basically leave their corporate job to start a whole new life.
That's so impressive. Thank you so much for coming on my show and sharing this knowledge. I'm going to definitely tell everyone about Saturday because I think that's really exciting.
Yes, absolutely. And you can join from anywhere. It's all online. And the tickets for that are $197. So that's it for the whole day. And it's like a deep dive into all the pieces and everything that you need. So by the end of the day, it's a very interactive workshop. If people want to upgrade to VIP, it's another $100, like $297. And they can get recordings of all the events and everything, a special Q&A with us.
Oh, that would be awesome.
So yeah, and that's it. That's for the whole day. They get everything with that. And then at the end of the workshop, they'll have basically everything you need to put the pieces together to realize, oh my gosh, this is actually not as hard as I thought it was going to be. So then they'll basically have everything they need by the end of the day to put those pieces together to be able to do their book.
That is so impressive. Thank you so much, Melanie.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. And it's fun to see the growth, you know, like for both of us.
Both ways,
You know,
yes.
just like you can see the tangible growth and progress, which is, I think progress is what makes people happy. And I think hope is the greatest gift that you can give another human being. So thank you for all that you do and for everybody in this community as well.
Thank you, Melanie.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for watching Everything Sparkle. We are with Kurt and the Gruburys.
No matter when, seems without a reason. Seems there's no account for where we are to go. Look around, confused by what you see. Stop for a minute, try to catch your breath, and then the moment's gone. Clock on the wall keeps ticking as the seconds turn into years. Amidst all the struggle and strife, with the voice ringing in your ears. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Living in a world that changes by the hour. Back is bottles upside down. We really know who we are. Not everybody's life as we really let it slow well. Looking back, it's so hard to tell jokes where the future lies. Looking at it, setting slow. Reminded of a place far away. It don't end where the town falls. The somehow faded away. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Out on the horizon, must be a brand new day. Out on the horizon, we're gonna find our way. You've been waiting so long to find some peace in all of this. Amidst all these troubled times, made an end of hell. All the times, the things you thought forgotten, dwelling in the past, you'll somehow slowly die. But take courage, yeah, matters tomorrow. Ask in your teeth and sweat of your brow, you'll finally arrive. Clock on the wall keeps ticking as the seconds turn into years. It's really up to us what remains. Is it hope or is it just fear? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Out on the horizon, feel brand new, yeah. Down on the horizon, gonna find our way. We're gonna find our way. Gonna find our way. Yeah.
Welcome to Everything Sparkle, Kurt. I'm so excited to have you here and the Gruburys. Tell us about how you started all this.
Well, I've been a solo artist for a number of years. I've been in and out of bands and things, but I enjoy writing my own music and, or at least playing mostly my own music and everything. And a lot of bands just want to play covers and stuff. And so I've been kind of performing by myself. And well, I found these guys that really are excited about playing, songs that I've written, and so we kind of
How
we put
did
a
you
band
get this? Is
together.
an eclectic group.
559?
Well, 559. Yeah.
That's how you found them?
Well, Shiva and I started out first.
I first met him in person. It was on Thursday, February 5th of 2020 at Odd Hop at Cornerstone Company.
That I was running sound for.
No. This is
Yeah.
I don't think so you were there. This is before the pandemic, a month before,
okay.
and I met him, and I put him on Facebook, and he's like, "Oh, we'll play together soon." And the pandemic happened, and then in July 1st of last year, he said, "Play with me for Odd Hop," and we never had any rehearsal. First time we ever played together, and we did it there, and that's where we met Jen, and then Brandon.
I love that you know all these dates. That is
Well,
awesome.
I was there, so yeah.
He's our historian. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So now you're the new
I
guy.
am the new guy. She and I were playing together, and after a gig, he told me that Kurt was looking for a lead guitar player. I said, "Well, I've got some time, man." Like,
So that was at the 559.
that was over at Jackson's Roadhouse. I was supposed to be hosting
Oh.
the open mic and ended up turning into a 3-hour gig, just the two of us.
That's usually how things turn out with you, isn't it, Brandon?
Yeah, things. Yeah, yeah, but it is what it
Yeah.
is.
And then all of a sudden you guys are just like, yeah, we're gonna be the Gruburys, and then
Yeah, and it just worked. Yeah, and
Pretty much.
it's working, and we want to just keep going with this, and we're enjoying it. We just our soon to be released album, we recorded it in North Hollywood last October.
how long did it
November.
take to record that?
3
Well,
days.
actually, 3 days. We had 9 songs done. So we worked pretty
A
hard.
lot of
around the
hours.
clock.
just
Yeah.
doing
Yeah.
the city.
12-hour days.
It was a long
And a lot of Mexican
weekend.
food.
Yeah,
Yeah, we did it down at Fernando Perdoma's studio of
salsa and beer.
Echo in the Canyon fame. Yeah,
Stairway Studio
Stairway
in North
Studios.
Hollywood.
yeah.
How exciting was that? Like a really
It
cool
was fun.
experience?
It
Did you
was-
feel like legit at that
Oh
point?
yeah,
Yeah.
I felt like a professional for sure.
Yeah, because I know Fernando since like December of 2019. So I've always seen him have people in the studio on Facebook and stuff, and like finally got to. I know him as friends, but to work with him as a musician for me, it made me really happy.
Shiva, when were you on my show? What was the date of that?
I don't remember. I remember that was in September of last year because I was for that film festival we were doing.
I was like, how do you not remember the most important date of your life? Okay, so tell us a little bit about your experience. What are some of the bands that you've played with that we know about?
Oh wow. Well, I started playing in bands that way back in high school, and then on and off stuff like that. And about the late '70s, I went up to Chico and played in a couple of bands up there. Couple as a replacement player, and then I have one band of my own, the Ozone Rangers. We wrote a lot of our own music then and everything. And throughout the '80s, I was kind of in and out of projects and stuff. I had one band called Key Witness. We were a Christian rock band up
So
in the
you've
Jackson
been
area.
all over. I mean, that's like you're very eclectic yourself with all the bands you've been in.
Yeah, kind of wide variety of them. And down here, I played in a couple bands, played different instruments and different bands and stuff. So, and then this is really a great project. I think this is a great band. It's fun. I can kind of for once have the wheel, and as far as kind of directing and writing the material, and got a directing it and everything. And these guys are just top drawer musicians, and it's wonderful to work with them. And I feel really privileged and blessed.
So where and when can we buy this album?
Well, we're hoping to have it out next month. It still needs to go into physical production right now, and getting the artwork done and everything. We're almost there.
And we can follow you and keep up, and you guys will keep us posted of when we
Absolutely.
can purchase it.
Yep, I run the Facebook page, so
Jen's the glue in this band. I would
Yeah.
say, you know, she kind of keeps everybody going. I'll forget something critical and she'll remind me. So it's wonderful.
That's really cool. And then who does all your booking for like where you guys play, all your venues?
Well, it's kind of a combination of us, I think. I know as a solo artist, I was kind of frustrated as far as, you know, never getting callbacks. You know, sometimes there are people who kind of space it out or whatever, and I kind of contemplated getting some professional management. But so far, we've just kind of thrown in together, and we've got lines on different things. So.
Well, you might, when this album hits out, you might have to get somebody to get you when you start like touring.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, that's necessary. Yeah, for sure.
And Brendan, what happened to your car?
I went out the tower, drank a little too much, and did the responsible thing and left it there. And somebody torched it, set it on fire, lit it up.
Somebody has something against the Gruburys.
I guess.
You didn't play one of their songs.
Something, man.
Yeah, we didn't play that request.
it was Shiva. He was mad we didn't play enough petty songs.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
So I'm out there with that flaming drumstick.
Well, Brandon, you have a GoFundMe
I
account,
do.
sort of, so we can get money for you to get a new car.
Yes, I do have a GoFundMe. It's the link is on my Instagram, which is just Fresno Slim. It's right in the bio. I think still got it on Facebook. I'm gonna reshare it tonight. But yeah,
Yeah, this
throw it on
man
my
needs
social
this.
media.
Well, we will support you. Might do some concerts to promote that.
absolutely,
So
yeah.
we'll keep on touch. You guys look at my
Yeah.
social because if we have a concert, I will definitely promote that. And then tonight, where are you guys performing?
The
Here at
Howlin' Wolf.
Sparkle. No.
Well, I got the front row seat. This is awesome to get an
Yeah, a
exclusive.
little preview. Yeah, we'll be over at Howlin'
Wolf
Wolf
from
at,
9 to 11 this evening.
Yeah.
9 o'clock tonight. Yeah, showtime.
And Tower. So wait, is there food there, drinks there? What's kind of
I-
happening?
I've never been.
Well,
so
there are drinks available at the Howlin' Wolf, but there's no food. You can buy them, but you can go to other places and buy food and bring it in.
Oh, sorry, drinks are the
Yeah.
important thing. That's
Yeah.
all I
Oh,
care
yeah.
about. So
it's a bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in the house.
There's
in the
so
Howlin' Wolf
much
parking lot.
good food in Tower District. So I mean,
Yeah,
like,
grab
right
some
there,
food,
right
Come
there.
on over. You
It's
know.
right next
Yeah.
to Deli Delicious.
And
So
Richie's
grab a
Pizza.
sandwich. Kuka's.
oh, that's good. They let you
Yeah.
bring food in. That's
I
really
love
awesome.
There's a taco place that goes out there sometimes. Little one of those little taco stands.
I love Tucker. So
Yeah,
yeah, come on
good.
out, support the band, buy them a drink, and then yeah, we're gonna keep a track on your GoFundMe account so
Perfect.
that we can get you
Much
get you some
appreciated.
wheels again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because not driving
go.
sucks.
You don't want to be on the back of like Shiva's motorcycle or something.
Yeah, right.
I'm the one that rides the
On
motorcycle.
the back of Jen's motorcycle forever.
Right.
Yeah.
The kid helmet.
Yeah, having to depend on people for rides has not been fun. But
Aw.
it is what it is, man. It is what it is.
Thank you guys so much for coming on my show. We're gonna keep up with you, Kurt, and everything you're doing. We're gonna keep
Well,
up with
thank
her to
you.
get it, and we're to see you guys.
Awesome. Yeah.
Awesome. We appreciate the time that you spent with us today.
Yeah,
Thanks,
Yeah.
Parker.
yeah, it's been fun.
Thanks so much for having us on.
Thank you.
I look around everywhere I see people struggle, trying to break free. Something holds them that's hard to say. Some is something thoughts go away. Trying to see the big dark day. Want someone to help me get out of this maze. Each day we hear something brand new from on high. Separated out the truth from the lies. Oh, felt the feeling like I'm under construction. There's a world been on construction. Like Out on the rails, know it all. Each day's the blood, trying not to fall. Navigating my way through the slaughter and bells. Some just push me onward, though I had nothing. Hey, I hear the voices saying this is the way. Trying not to get lost at the end of the day. Take your goods around and then spit on the wall. Look into the woods so you don't lose it all. Oh, yeah, cause I'm feeling like I'm on a construction. There's a world meant for destruction. I got a book of instruction that'll help me while I'm on the construction.
Felt right in the moment, felt right in the summertime. It felt right drinking cherry wine with you. Just wanted to own it, just wanted to take the time, learn all the things that I could about you. Now it's such a mess here, oh, we are just stressed here. Used to be so easy with you. Now I must confess here, oh, I must confess, dear, don't think I'm in love with you. Winter is coming and I don't know what to do, and there's no more use in running, no more running to you. And I don't want your loving, I don't wanna be just friends, knowing all this time we were playing pretend, playing pretend.
It's a mystery.